Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Notes and Baby. It's yours truly, Ibiwari. And if you're new, welcome. And if you're a book lover and you haven't subscribed to this channel, like I always say, make sure you subscribe because on this channel, what do? We read, we explore, and we learn, and that's where the books, travel, and eco-friendly DIY tips comes in. So today I'm going to be talking about pet peeves, bookish pet peeves. So I've seen a few pet peeves online. I've seen other people do their own version with what their bookish pet peeves are. And some of them are, I really don't have an issue with, like dog earing your books or folding your books to read. Those are some of the pet peeves I've been seeing, and some other ones, common ones. But and then I asked myself, like, okay, Ibiwari, do you have a pet peeve, a bookish pet peeve? Really, what's a pet peeve? Something that is very annoying, so that a person finds very annoying. So I asked myself, do I have a pet peeve, a bookish pet peeve? And initially, I thought, no, I don't. I'm pretty cool with anything. But then when I started thinking deeply, I found one, and from one, it became two, and from two, I came up with 10 pet peeves. And yeah, so I'm going to be sharing my bookish pet peeves today. My number one bookish pet peeve is not seeing a synopsis at the back of a book. Like before I read a book, I want to see what the book is about. I don't want to just be led blindly into the book. I want to know what it's about and just let me know. I don't want to see reviews of people talking about the book like, oh, it's a must have, or Tunde saying it's a must have for all women. What does that mean? Does it explain anything about the book? So, no, I would like to see a synopsis of a book. I just don't want to buy the book because it looks like it should be bought or it looks like it should be read. So, yes, number one, not having a synopsis. Number two, bookish pet peeve for me is not returning books. And I think this is a very common bookish pet peeve for bookworms, book lovers everywhere. Like, we give a book out, please return it back. Like, it takes me back to when I had this particular neighbor. I gave my book to my neighbor, and the funniest thing is I hadn't even finished reading the book, but I just felt okay, you should read it and then bring it back to me. And this particular neighbor traveled, and so that was how my book traveled with that neighbor, and I never got my book back. So it's not even, it's very, very frustrating. Like, if I give a book to you, please return it back. It's as simple as that. Bookish pet peeve number three for me is when I buy a particular book and it's not indicated that it's part of a series, and then when I read it and I find out that it's actually a sequel to a book, and I'm like, it's nice if books, authors indicate that these books are in a series. Like, if you put it like one book, the first book in the series, second, third, fourth, like that. But when there's no indication, or probably when the titles are different and you think, okay, they're different books, and you find out that it's actually in a series, it's very, very, very frustrating. So, no, 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 it's a complete no for me when I find out. The fourth bookish pet peeve for me is when a book is too expensive for me to buy. Like, I look at a particular book, maybe I check it online or I see it in a bookstore and it looks really nice. It looks like something, I checked the synopsis, it looks like something I want to read. And then I'm like, okay, yes, this is something I could actually own. I could actually buy too. And then I check the price and it's way expensive, or more like it's more than what I would expect the price of that book would be. So I don't like when books are too expensive. I know that books are like little investments, and even if you buy an expensive book, you always have it for a long time. But I think for me, there's a limit to which I would pay for the price of a book. So yes, number four is when books are too expensive for me to buy. It's just so frustrating and so annoying. Number five, a boring book. Yes. So I really hate it when I read a book and it doesn't meet up to the hype, you know, when a book is hyped so much and there's a whole lot of buzz around the book, and I eventually get to read the book and I find out that at the end of the day it just wasn't worth the time spent reading that book. So that's another annoying, it's a really, really annoying part, and I really don't like it. Yeah. Number six, getting me a book that I don't like as a gift. I know gifting a bookworm a book is like the easiest thing that you can do, but it's also important for you to know what kind of books your bookworm loves to read. So when you gift someone something that is not in line with what they would read, it's very, very annoying, because now I am stuck with a book that I might not read, and I'm stuck with a book that will be on my shelf, and I don't know what to do with it. So, yes, I do not like that. Number seven bookish pet peeve for me is books that I don't like that eventually become popular. Like, I've read the book and I've found out that the book isn't worth the hype, in my own opinion, and then I now see everywhere, every bookstagrammer, every booktuber, every book talker, everybody talking about, and recommending this book, and I'm like, why are you still talking about this book? Like, it's so, so annoying and so, so frustrating. Like, I really would just like if it's just not out there in the open. So yes. The eighth bookish pet peeve for me is book cover changes. Like, I don't understand why we have to have more than one book cover for a particular book. Like, I just want everybody to have the same book cover. I don't want to have to buy a particular book and it's one book cover, and then I find out that my friend who has bought that same book, at a different time, has a different book cover, probably better than mine, and I'm like, what do I do now? I have an ugly book cover. What do I do with it? So I would just like if we're all equal and we all have the same book cover. So that's one thing that I would like, and unfortunately, it doesn't happen, and I find it quite annoying. Number nine is dust jackets. Like, when I see a dust jacket, all I want to do is just rip it, shred it, and trash it. I don't like dust jackets. Like, I want my book to either be in paperback or to just have that hardcover. I don't want to have a dust jacket over it, because it just looks like something I should tear and trash. So dust jackets is a no for me. I don't like dust jackets. Yeah. And the last bookish pet peeve for me is soggy books. So I'm not just talking about when you just spill your drink, slightly on your book. I'm talking about the whole book getting soaked. Maybe like you take your book with you and probably it rains, and then you find out that the whole book is soaked, and by the time you dry it, it doesn't retain that shape again. It has lost its shape, and then the book looks ugly and it's puffy, and at the end of the day, it's I don't want to have anything to do with that book again. And it's even more painful when the book is now a favorite or one of your favorites. So at the end of the day, you just want to trash it, which is usually not what I would recommend. So yes, that is basically it. So these are my top 10 bookish pet peeves. So if you have any, if it's the normal ones I've seen online, or you have something different from what I've said, or if it is similar, or if it is exactly the things I have said, let me know in the comment section. Give your 2 cents, like I always say. And hey, before I go, don't forget to join my TikTok bookish community. That's where I do my book reviews and book recommendations there. I hardly do book reviews and book recs on YouTube yet, but TikTok is where I do all of that. And so join the TikTok community, and like I always say, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to share this video. I will see you in the next video. Have a lovely day.